Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. So I was going through some of my old videos just to get some inspiration of new videos, and I realized that even though I've mentioned my main forge, I've actually never gone into any real good detail. Well, this year it's 12 years since I got this, and I figured, you know what, let's do a review. Who does a review on a forge 12 years later? So this forge is my main forge. Like I said, 12 years as a part-time blacksmith. So I have hundreds, if not thousands of hours using this forge. And this forge is from a company called the Mighty Forge. They're out of Canada in British Columbia. And you might notice if you're Canadian and you go to Princess Auto quite a bit, you might notice that it might look similar to the one that Princess Auto sells. That's because the guy that makes this one also makes the Princess Auto one. So, you know, this is their two burner setup, and I think they actually call it the Mighty Forge. And it is mostly geared towards your blacksmith farriers. Now, with that said, it doesn't mean that, knife makers can't use this. It can, but they do have other models that are more geared to that, bigger size to do your bigger knives, bigger swords. But you can do a knife in here. So let's go through a little bit of what it looks like 12 years later. Okay, so I have not relined this forge, even though I've done videos where I've said, oh, I'll reline it after this. I've not relined this forge. And it is still in fully working condition. No problem whatsoever. The efficiency has gone down, but that's understandable because the refractory in this is a little worn down after 12 years. Um, so basically, the construction of this is pretty simple. The walls and ceiling is an insulated board. It's actually not loose kale wool stuff. The bottom is cast as a one piece, and it is, I believe, a medium refractory. It does not handle flux at all. Um, it takes a little bit, okay, but yeah, don't use flux in this unless you have either a hard brick, like fire brick at the bottom, or a kiln shelf will also work. I have made the mistake of using flux in this, um, and it has worn down a little bit, but it's still in actually working condition, as you can see some of my videos. So let me bring you in so you can get a really close look at how the inside looks after 12 years of a part-time blacksmith. So as you can see, it does dip here, and that is because, when I was doing the chain damascus, the flux got in here and worn down a little bit. And I've chewed up the walls a little bit here and here. So yeah, it's probably getting close to being due for a relining. And Mighty Forge actually does sell relining kits, and you just have to give them a quick message or a call, and they'll be able to get you a relining kit. And it's, this whole thing is just sheet metal formed and screwed together. So, you should be able to easily screw that apart and, um, yeah, reline it. So one thing I will say is with this particular double burner, I actually run it on two propane tanks. Um, I find with one propane tank, it actually will freeze up after about 5 hours of working on it. But if you have it, oh man, my light. If you have it set up with two propane tanks, I can run 8 hours on like forge welding heat with the two 20-pound propane tanks, and I don't have issues with freezing up. So if you are looking at, well, any forge really, propane, if you're stuck with using the small bottles like I am, it's definitely good to get a little Y to actually hook up into two propane tanks as opposed to one. So, yeah, this is what it looks like 12 years later after from a part-time blacksmith. Um, yeah, highly, highly recommend this. Um, you know, I believe they're going around. Well, this model from Mighty Forge, I think, is $1,100. Um, and he doesn't sell just to Canadians. There's also he has an American distributor. If you go to the Mighty Forge, you can actually he has a link to that distributor. I'm sorry, I don't really remember the name. So you know, like, yeah, it's highly recommend it. Like 12 years, and it's still forge welds as you saw through videos last year, and yeah, I kind of yeah. Well, anyways, that's pretty well just a quick short video to show you what 12 years does to the Mighty Forge. Um, I gotta get fired up and get some products done. Catch you guys later.